Greetings! This is the Fruitful Night, and you're here with me to look a bit at Cardano. So, the Cardano ecosystem just got going, basically. We haven't had smart contracts for the longest time, but now things are getting going, and people are building with the smart contract functionality that people have access to. There's a lot of projects trying to build on Cardano and establish themselves. So on one hand, I think you have a lot of opportunity for price increasing on many tokens, but also there's a lot of yield to be had on Cardano right now. So I thought this could be inspiration for anyone looking to find projects to dig into. I won't go into anything very deep here, just overview what's going on, and you can look at it yourself later. So if we look at DeFi Llama and have a look in Cardano, we see that the total value locked in the space here, it's gone down in dollars, but in ADA, it's actually about to go beyond the peak there. So we're entering an interesting time where people are investing their ADA into the ecosystem. People are enthusiastic and hyped about projects. So the ecosystem, the DeFi ecosystem itself, it looks very promising right now. There's a lot of belief in it, and for good reason in my mind. As we can see, the biggest DEX is MinSwap, followed by Indigo, and after that you have the Wing Riders DEX. And the JED usually launched quite not very long ago, and I think I've heard a lot of good things about it. They have these stability coin sort of Shen that's you have to lock in ADA to get Shen that's sort of redeemable towards JED. So it's sort of a stablecoin, algorithmic stablecoin involving 3 coins. So it's supposed to be very safe and all, because it's been researched in universities and all. So perhaps it might have a bright future. So getting yield on a stablecoin can be nice, but also this Shen, as I understand it, you get it by locking in ADA. So the Shen would be moving with ADA price then, I assume, and the demand for the stablecoin. And the stablecoin itself can be a nice yield generation in some cases. If you think the market will be going sideways, I like stablecoins then, but otherwise stablecoins can feel a bit boring in crypto because you would like higher price evaluations in the future. And as we look at tap tools, that's where I usually look. We can see that the most traded thing on Cardano by far is this AGIX, and that's connected to this Singularity Net. It'll be a marketplace for AI, so people will be constructing AIs, training AIs in some way and selling it on this marketplace. So it's a lot of hype around it, and seems to be good people in the project. There have been on many conferences for Cardano, spoken publicly, and also they're well known. After that, we have the World Mobile Token. And that's a token connected to an internet provider. And they're looking to do a decentralized internet providing of some sort, where many people can contribute to provide internet. And the revenue of this project will go to do buybacks of this token. So they'll give out this token to those hosting internet services in a decentralized manner, and the customer can just pay in their currency, but this revenue will be used to buy back the token and pay the internet providers, something like that. And if we were to look at their website, they're already gotten going when it comes to this is mostly about the token, but the project itself, they've already gotten going. They're selling internet to people, like gigabytes of internet people are downloading and uploading. So they have customers, and what you can do as just a token holder, you can use the vault, and I believe it was 6% yield. You just hold it in your wallet, and it'll give you revenue all the time. So interesting project that way. It seems to have a lot of possibility to move upwards also. After that, as I might have said, this is a total market cap of Cardano. So when it comes to tokens in and of themselves, the highest market cap are these here. And the MinSwap, the DEX, they have the highest liquidity. And that project is quite interesting because they do a sort of, they take a very small amount of the fees on the site, which they use to buy liquidity of their own token. So they do liquidity providing for their own token, and they steadily increase this based on the fees they generate. So the more volume their DEX has, the more they will buy their own token along with ADA and liquidity provide. So this way they will create a buying pressure and a good floor price, a stable floor price, and a lot of liquidity for the token, which is quite a nice strategy for the biggest DEX to have, because they're growing steadily and they're keeping their lead. We're quite small compared to Ethereum and other places, so many things might happen. But as it stands, the trend is right now that MinSwap will be the greatest. So with that tokenomics, so to say, they have a lot of emissions, of course, but as it stands, it can be very worthwhile to look into MinSwap. And if you'd like to liquidity provide the token, you can get around 36 yield right now, which is not too shabby. AGIX is also a nice token here. The only place you can liquidity provide it, almost 50% yield. So there's interesting choices here, and of course World Mobile Token. If you don't want I believe it is 6% yield just holding the token, you can use the liquidity providing here on MinSwap, for example. But the thing is, I think 6% yield is quite nice just holding a token compared to 17% liquidity providing, because you have these risks in liquidity providing, the impermanent risk, whatever it's called. So yeah, I'd say I'd like a bit more yield to use liquidity providing when I have the option to just stake something. But yeah, this way on MinSwap you'll earn the premier DEX token right now, but there are more DEXs coming to Cardano. I, for one, like Wing Riders a lot, and they have 2 yields on every token, and that means the lowest yield, like for their own token, for example, is 25%, and that's what you're guaranteed when you liquidity provide. But the higher yield, you can increase up to that, so you'll get 25%. You can increase it to almost 50% if you lock in some of their WRT tokens. And what that means is you use the boosting vault and you boost it. So you lock in tokens there, and that will allow you to take some of this boosting rewards. So liquidity providing gives you the normal reward, and the boosting vault will allow you to get some of the boosting. And here, by that way, you can get quite high yields, and it's an incentive for people to be hodlers of the token. So it's an interesting project that way. And as you can see, what I thought was low yield on World Mobile Token, you can get a higher, almost 26% here. But of course, you have to stake a lot of the WRT token. As we can see, though, WRT is a bit lower here, 19 spot, and we don't have much liquidity or volume at the moment. So yeah, there are also this AXO DEX coming up that people are very interested in. Seems to be a very different sort of DEX, but who knows when it'll happen, and exactly what the yield will be, because it'll be mostly an order book place. So it'll work quite differently from these AMM DEXs that needs these reward tokens to incentivize pools of liquidity. But the AXO token might be quite interesting looking into when it arrives. Also, when it comes to tokens, the Indigo, we should see it there, the 8th spot here. Indigo is the synthetics token, the biggest synthetics, the only one I know of on Cardano. So for those who doesn't know what a synthetic token is, it's a token that needs collateral to be created. So if you want to create synthetic Ethereum on Cardano, you look up the equivalent ADA amount, the value of ADA that's equivalent of that Ethereum, and extra to that you add some extra ADA so that you are over collateralized, and then you can create synthetic Ethereum there. And that way we can have Ethereum on Cardano in a very nice way. So they create synthetic assets there, and you can earn yield just by, let's see here, for the governance you can just lock the Indie token, and right now you will get 51% yield. And this yield is interesting because it's not just them rewarding you with their own token, that's 25%, but you also get some ADA rewards, 26%. And how can you get that? Well, this token gets some of the fees on the website. So whenever people want to create or remove these synthetic assets, they pay a little fee that goes to the governance. And also when, what was it? There's different fees. When people, I lost it now. There are more fees they collect. So fees goes into here at least. And as we can see, 26%, that's quite nice. It's quite used for stakeholders to earn 26% of their value in ADA. There has to be a lot of usage. And I think we could see that here on DeFi Llama, that Indigo has the second place and is growing steadily. The last 7 days it's just grown 20%, so it is being used a lot, which means there's a lot of fees being paid, and for the Indie holders you can earn quite a nice yield right now. Not to mention that the token itself could very well go up also, but if it just goes flat, 50% is not bad either. So that's something to look into. Indigo overall is quite a nice site because when it comes to Cardano's native token ADA, the token for the network ADA, you have the staking rewards, this liquid staking, which means you're always able to move around your ADA. You never lock it up to get staking yields, unlike Ethereum, for example. And here on Indigo, when you lock up the ADA needed to create the synthetic assets, they will give you the ADA yield for staking while you have the asset. So you can create Bitcoin, for example, synthetic Bitcoin here, and the ADA used to collateralize that synthetic Bitcoin, you still earn yield on that. So it's a very intuitive and nice site that way. You get the rewards from your ADA while having the price of Bitcoin. Of course, if you don't collateralize enough, it's up to you. If you don't collateralize enough, your ADA can be claimed if it goes below the threshold needed to have an synthetic asset. You will keep the synthetic asset, but you will lose the ADA used to create it, which is over collateralized, so it'll be a loss for you. But it's a nice project. It's very decentralized as far as I know, and you can earn quite a nice yield there. Moving on, we have, for example, Genius Yield, and it's gotten going fairly recently. This is a token that will be looking to yield optimize. You can put money into these yield optimizing vaults and they will be looking for the best way to earn your yield. So using an AI looking all over the Cardano ecosystem, they will try to place your ADA or whatever stablecoin, your assets in the best position possible. They will switch it around to the best token and find the best place for that token to be to earn yield for you. Right now, you can stake their native token, the Gens token, and earn some yield on that. They haven't gotten going yet, but I think these sort of projects are quite interesting because there's so many options when it comes to earning yield. It's a lot of things to go through as a human, and assessing the risk can be difficult too. So I think it's a nice project, and it has a very famous programmer, Lars Brunjes, working at it. He's worked with, if he's not still working with, is it Emergo or IOH for some educational purposes. So yeah, it seems like a good project. And also, Y Finance is the same type of project, and what it does also beyond this that Genius Yield does, it's working with a lot of different projects to allow staking. So just if you have some drip drops, for example, you can stake your drip drops at their site also and earn some yield. I like the Wi-Fi yield right now, and the Wi-Fi project has an economist behind it. So he's looked into the tokenomics a lot, and the tokenomics is very interesting in my mind. They are looking to create a very sustainable project, and the emissions will take 20 years to get all the Wi-Fi out. So it's meant to be a very slow emission rate at the project. And they will do buybacks using a bar, so they will try to offset these emissions also. Beyond that, we have the Kopi here at their site. So Kopi is a very esteemed project, a very hyped project, and a lot of faith in that project for good reason. I can see it's a very big community. The developers are very transparent. It's the biggest metaverse project on Cardano. I think we should see it here on the 5th spot, the Kopi token. So it's the metaverse project of Cardano. So in a way, it's the biggest metaverse bet you can make right now. Cardano has a lot of people working at it and a lot of community. And through the Wi-Fi place, you can stake it. That's not a big yield, but if you believe in the project going up, why not earn some yield on it? It's just a small fee staking here, so it'll work out quite well if you are staying there for some time. But when it comes to Kopi, I think in my mind, the Wing Riders has quite a nice liquidity providing here. You're guaranteed to get 16% reward, but you can get all the way up to 54%. So the liquidity providing here is quite nice, but of course that depends on the reward token. If the reward token goes down in value, it'll not be that nice yield. And if Kopi goes down in value, your entire liquidity providing will not be very nice either. So sometimes it could be nicer just holding the token itself, but in some cases that's something that's worthwhile. And well, one of the few things here I'm looking into, I'm doing right now is the liquidity providing of Kopi, along with other things here. But not everything I'm doing, and some tokens I'm looking to get into, some tokens I'm considering maybe going out of. So you'll have to do a lot of research. You have to try and decide the evaluation and when the market is going up. But overall, I think Cardano has a lot of promise, and I strongly believe in the ecosystem. It's just a question of what projects will be successful. So yeah, those are the projects I think are worthwhile looking into if you want to earn yield or just want some tokens that are here to stay for the long term. And as we know in crypto, when you have a good project that's staying around, it can be very good for price, as many other ecosystems, when the native token goes up, all the ecosystem tokens usually follows. So yeah, it's a nice ecosystem. That's mostly where I spend my time when it comes to crypto these days. So I hope you've enjoyed these suggestions, and that you have some tokens that you like to look into yourself. Bye for now.